Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and namaste. Well, after videotaping about 40 minutes worth of video that I couldn't hear, well, that was fun. We took a drive from Santa Fe up to a little lake called Santa Cruz, and they were closed. So now I'm in a little town called Chimayo, heading up the little back roads. Anyway, well, I guess if I were to start this thing over, I would mention that our last video spoke a lot of frequency, sound, energy, and the human body computer, quantum biological computer system with harmonic resonance, and also known as the body. Anyway, rabbit hole. What rabbit hole should I go in this time? Okay, if you were to do a little research on sound and frequency and the way it affects matter, and you can go over to YouTube or your favorite video place, and several videos out there that show the effects of sound frequency on water and air, and the ones that use sand on a cover above a speaker, I would say, is sound. And there's a video with the young man who is just incredible, using a lot of Tesla technology and music to show the effects of sound frequency on water. Do a little, I don't know, I maybe I'll put a link in the description, but it's easy to find. You can see the effects that frequency and sound has on matter. Now then, at the same time, the body, the quantum biological computer system that we call the body, it does work off of harmonic resonance, to say that's one way that it absorbs information. The effects that frequency and sound has on water and air is easy to be found, but at the same time, they tell you that the body is, somewhere in the neighborhood 70-80% water. And so if you have a system that is 80% water, then would not frequency and sound have an abundance of effects on that biological system? Okay, I think you're kind of catching my point. The powers that be, those that have been in control of this planet for, in my opinion, 500,000 years, when the fallen ones got here, it began. They, obviously, being of much more wisdom, technology, and evolved, are very aware of how sound and frequency, whether you can hear it or not, can you see a radio wave? No, you can't. Okay, is it there? Yes, it is. Can it affect you? Well, that's yet to be exposed, shall we say. So with that in mind, it's not real far off the mark to consider that if I know I can affect you through sounds and vibrations and frequencies that you cannot hear, do you not become my puppet? Okay, in a sense, that's what we're talking about. And if I can affect one of you, and remember, this biological system that we are dwelling in is not just a receiver, but it is a transmitter. It transmits out to the world what we have received at a certain level, sometimes more or less. So keep that in mind, okay? So let's just say I know this. I know I can affect it. Now remember, there's another part of this story. When, as immortal spiritual beings, we decide to come into this planet, we decide to incarnate, we know the rules. We know that we're not going to remember who we are. We know we're not going to know the powers that we have. We're not going to remember the spiritual part of who we are. We are going to come in organically and basically start with a computer system that has no information in it. So as we discover our spiritual realities throughout life, who we are spiritually, we're programming a computer, the body, with what the world has to offer it. Okay, so our reality is made up by what we absorb through the matrix, and in most cases, without our knowledge of where it's even coming from. So when we all decide the water's wet, is it? Well, some would argue. But my point is that there's energies that affect the body, there's frequencies that affect the body, and we just think we're not feeling well. We just think we're angry about something. We just think. That's sometimes the problem. We're thinking, and we're not recognizing the energies that are coming in. You know, are they benevolent? Are they malevolent? Well, usually if they're in uninvited, they're not of a good source. And, you know, when you understand who the enemy is and what they're in it for, then you'll understand how that knowledge of being able to manipulate the realities of, say, the collective consciousness of mankind creates an energy that they desire. So we live in a world of chaos right now because we're between two frequencies. We're between balanced and balanced. And we're leaving the third dimensional lack of balance and progressing to a five-dimensional balanced reality. And what that kind of means is that purging of all the darkness has to take place. And in case you hadn't noticed, the energies coming in, they're a lot like flu symptoms most people are experiencing. They're affecting DNA. They're affecting everything. And, this battle has been going on for a long time. The only difference is we can now claim fame to the wind. The darkness, like roaches, when you flip the light on, is scattering. Disclosure has already happened. Sorry. If you missed it, that's okay. The information is available. It's not going to be given to you and you're not going to be taught it, but it's available. So basically anything you really want to know that is the truth, if you in your heart and desire start to search for it, you're going to find your truth. And, at a certain level, truth is solid, and, at the humanity level, it's independently different in each and every one of us, but it's not taught, it is learned. And so when somebody hands you a shovel and a map, it's not their place to start digging. It's your place. That's when it's your turn to say, okay, I have an interest in this subject. What happened? And, the information is available. Everything about extraterrestrials, it's available. Is it shrouded with lies? Yes. And if you are not, more than anything, fine-tuning your discernment, you're going to be lost for a while. Until there's something real tangible for you, you're going to be lost. But discernment is not a gift. It's a part of who we are. The biggest problem that as the collective is concerned is they have done everything they can to teach us right is wrong and wrong is right. Now, in this system that we live in, the reason that is a success for them is because it's confused our discernment. They've actually taught us that when we get that feeling that something is a lie, that's the feeling of truth. And when we get the feeling that something is the truth, that's generally the lie. Now, for those that are really awake, you're not playing in that pool of deception anymore. And it's kind of fun getting out of it, cleaning off and re-examining things. But the average person, the person that we came to help, as a starseed or a light worker or a wanderer, walk-in, whatever you happen to be, we're here to help them find their truth. We're not here to give them our truth. If they ask, you can say, hey, this is my truth. I don't expect it to be yours. But, that's also direction to the rabbit hole. And anyway, so, disclosure has happened. It really has. And if you dive in, it's just going to get more confusing because we're talking, the intention is to clean up a 500,000-year mess as fast as possible. How can that be done? Well, the reason I say disclosure has happened is that if anybody knows the truth, everybody knows the truth. You just, it's there. But until you look at it, it doesn't exist. In fact, until you look at it, nothing exists. And because we are looking at an ascension of not only a planet, solar system, and galaxy, but we're talking about all life ascending in its organic state. That, my friends, have never happened before. The reason why our galactic family is all around this planet watching this progressiveness of this ascension is because always in the past, no matter what solar system, galaxy, wherever you're at, when a planet or a being ascends from one vibrational reality up or down, mostly up, it's a catastrophe. We tend to leave the bodies we're in and reincarnate in the new structure, the new body. This time, we're not doing that. We're taking a carbon-based, biological, organic computer system with harmonic resonance. We're going to change it from carbon-based, just like most things on our planet right now, to crystalline. And it's going to happen while you're breathing. And it is happening. In fact, the updates come in all day. And they load into your system when you're in REM sleep early in the morning. And whatever amount of wisdom, knowledge, or change that your body can absorb, it will get. And the rest flows through into the planet and goes where else? I don't know. Probably wherever it's needed. But you're not going to get more than you can handle. But you might get less because you're asleep. Little play on words. So anyway, yeah, that's the blessing. We all chose to be here. Many of us chose to be here to help. But the big picture is a transition of organic material into semi-God reality. Imagine having all your abilities, all of them, and being very light. The Macarba is real. It is a traveling automobile. It automatically makes you mobile, okay? And that's what you placed inside of this organic computer system was a controlling auto and not autopilot, but mostly auto. In case you didn't know it, when was the last time you told your heart to beat? That's the innate's job. Oh, and speaking of the innate, I think I'm going to go around this ambulance because that's just bad karma. Most people wonder not most people these days, but it used to be when you said the innate body, nobody knew what you were talking about. And, I get that because what do you mean the innate? Well, the innate body, in simple terms, is like a humongous army that controls all the shit you ever think about. The heart's beating, the blood's pumping, the eyebrows are going up and down when you speak, your facial, and everything that happens in the body that the conscious mind appears to not have any control of. That's my opinion of the innate. Now, does the innate have ears and the desire to fulfill what it hears? That's a good question. Damn right it does. And what most people don't know is what goes out the mouth and goes back into the ears oftentimes is instructions to the body or the innate. I feel like shit. Well, you know what? The body hears that and says, wait a minute. Now, when we poop out that stinky stuff, it kind of feels this way. No, we make it worse. We actually take thoughts behind it, and, basically the body says, oh, I get it. You want to feel bad. So not only, is that what you want, but we're going to make that happen. So pain is going to find its way for your conscious to recognize it and fulfill what you asked it to do. So the power of suggestion isn't just, as the gurus might say, it's an instruction. And if you say, well, I'll give you an example. My back hurts. Well, that kind of sounds to me like a command. My back hurts. So the body makes it hurt more. And what if you were to say, you know what, I'm feeling pain in my back, and I would like it to go away. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but what I did when I said I have a backache, I have claimed the backache, and it is mine. When I said I am experiencing pain in my backache, I have claimed my back. I recognize the pain, and now I want it to go away. Now, you can put that into those words and anything that you say, because really, thought, your innate hears too. Okay? But when you speak it out, you're speaking it out not only to your innate, but believe it or not, that message goes out to the collective. And one person complaining about being sick, can it make another person sick? Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Because believe it or not, if you don't believe you can get sick, the innate will not allow the dis-ease. Your body's really funny that way. You can actually talk to it as the commander, or you could be a walking zombie, never knowing how your thoughts and your words created the dysfunctional reality that your body's trying to project. You see? So it's a little more simple than saying the power of positive thinking is the right way to go. Well, it's the right direction. Yeah, you know why? But why? Why is it good to think positively? Because everything is listening. And the innate is the ability, having the innate listening is the ability to instruct what it is you want. But if you're going to instruct it unconsciously, then you won't even know why your life's all screwed up. You won't know that your words is what created your reality. Your thoughts created your reality. And that's the world we live in. We are God creators. We're a piece of God. Are we a little independent at this level? Oh yeah. In fact, we've gotten so far away that it looked like there was no return. Thank God for Christ consciousness being put back into us a couple thousand years ago, or we wouldn't have made it this far. But my point is that energy is more than just a word. It's in everything. Everything is energy. And words are a projection missile of energy. And whether you're shooting it off at something or you're directing it directly inside, you're being listened to, things are manifesting. So to get right around back to where I started as we go back into beautiful Santa Fe, is that they knew it. They knew how to create a world of fear and lack, which that type of energy, for one, if not many of our enemies, is like chocolate cake or whatever your favorite dessert is. When one man is killing another man in terror and horror, That's strawberry shortcake to the archons, the interdimensional beings that you cannot see. And, there are other enemies, and I'm sure this audience is aware, that are more visibly seen and more influential to our matrix. But hidden beneath or above all of that is a reality that lives off of our dysfunctional fears and pain. Now, can we destroy them in a minute? No, it only takes 1 second. If the massive amount of humanity were to focus on a butterfly, a newborn, something that creates the vibration of love, if we were to do that all together in 1 second, those who have been in control no longer exist. So, frequency, sound, vibration has been used as a weapon against humanity. When you don't know you're in a jail, you don't look for the keys. When you don't know you are a piece of God, you will search for God everywhere else but where God is. God is inside. And if you want to find God and hear God, here's my recommendation. Research, dig, find your way of meditation. Quiet the freaking mind, the computer that never stops, the thinking mind. Through meditation, shut that mother you-know-what up. And then either ask or listen. That little voice that you think is that dysfunctional mind that goes 24/7 with all those thoughts is not you. When you go into meditation, when you silence the mind, those energies that come in are a direct communication with God's source. Anyway, back to Santa Fe. I don't know how long I went. It was exactly from Tesuque to Santa Fe. And I hope you enjoyed that crazy wisdom knowledge. Or if it don't fit in, lies. Whatever. Free will, free desire. 2 for Tuesday, so once you're done with the first one, have another. And smiles for miles. Keep it under 100 heartbeats a minute. And if it feels good, do it. If it don't, do it till it does. Have a good one. Don't get any on you. If you do, rub it in your belly button.